and he'll field your questions.
Well, thank you for being here. Good job with those guys over there. Excited about my third season here as the head coach and a chance to build off last year. The biggest thing that I think you guys heard a little bit from our players was that I'm excited for, and it's taken 2 big recruiting classes to get us back on balance, but the competition and the depth. I'm excited to go out every day and really see 9 positions on the field and a pitching staff. It came down to Sunday for our Sunday starter. Guys battling and doing a great job for it. And I'm excited for these guys to take the challenge of probably the toughest schedule that we've put on paper, and excited to see what we're going to do with that. And build off last year, a year that I thought was some tremendous highs, and unfortunately just didn't finish it off. We were in a regional with about 3 weeks to go, or 4 weeks, but that has added fuel to fire for the older guys, 6 seniors. And the biggest thing I love about this team this year that I hope you guys will see game in and game out is these guys they're afraid to let each other down. And I think that's a neat attribute about a team that's going to be successful.
You gave some different responsibilities to Coach Allen.
I did. Yeah, I did. It was a tough one because for myself, as a baseball coach, I spent a lot of time doing the pitching and took a lot of pride into it. But, every year you look at and evaluate yourself and the program, I thought that our position players needed their head coach around them too. And I've been around a program where everywhere I've been, I've just taken the pitchers and gone, so it hasn't really been an issue. But for me, I thought it was the best thing for our staff and our team to have me out there as the head coach instead of me and the pitching coach. I think as a pitching coach, you've got to be with your guys every minute. And it's a full-time job, and I think at times the head coaching position takes you away from that. And so, last year I felt bad that I wasn't with them every day, and that's a responsibility of mine to make sure that those guys are taken care of. And it's neat to look within your staff and have a guy that you formulated a lot of plans with, Blake doing the catching for a long time, and of course he sat at Vanderbilt with Derek Johnson, who we regard as one of the best pitching coaches in this country. Now is the pitching coordinator for the Chicago Cubs, and Blake taking our plan and the things that I've developed here and adding a little bit of his spice to it. I think it's been great. It's been great for the older guys, Austin Clay, Justin Hageman, Tate Glasscock. Guys have been here a while. They get a new voice, so maybe shocks them a little bit, which is great. He's done a phenomenal job. They've worked very, very hard. And then our coaching balance. I think that's just as important as anything else, is a coaching balance along with player balance. And I think it's worked great. And I'm excited for it and haven't looked back one day. And I think it's benefited our team.
Players talked about competition that they've had.
Yeah.
Getting ready. How big has that been as maybe compared to the last couple of seasons?
Well, I thought last year we had a lot of competition on the pitching staff. It was one of the deepest staffs that we've put together, and it's really tough. I mean, Austin got thrown in a tough situation opening day when Justin went down on the 3rd hitter of the game. I mean, you're not ready for that. Of course, we had Tanner coming back and from an injury, and that kind of threw us off a little bit. But the one thing that you lose a Ryan Huck in production, you lose a Devin Kelly leadership. Steve Hodgins had a heck of a year at the end. And guys down like that, we added a lot of depth into our hitting, and I'm really excited about. We've probably got 15 hitters, Jeff, that we can put in that lineup. We can make a lot of different lineups, and the neat thing is if you're not hustling or getting after it, you're going to be replaced, and it makes guys better, and that's what we wanted to do. And so when you have competition out there, and you've seen a lot of coaches talk in the past about what competition does for a team, how it elevates. There's no complacency. And this group loves competing with each other. I mean, they're not only are they competing for jobs, but they really, truly are teammates for each other. When one guy wins it, the competitor's disappointed, but the next minute he's patting the guy on the rear end and rooting for him. So I think it's really made us a stronger team. And as you know, in years, there's injuries. And unfortunately, the last couple of years, we've had some injuries that our depth hasn't been able to overcome. And I feel like we're in a position that if something were to happen unexpectedly, we're ready for that. Yeah, absolutely. We have 3 unknowns in Georgia State, and Texas Arlington. We've played Texas State in 2010 at Baylor in a 4-3 game that we won. And we had great respect for what those guys do. They're very good. They play very hard, a lot of pressure type baseball. And of course, Arlington, both of them coming out of WAC, have got a lot of guys back. Georgia State, I don't know a whole lot about. I've played at their field. It's an offensive park, puts them some great numbers and returning guys back. So, and all those guys are going to be playing great RPI schools. So they've got a chance to really help. I mean, our league last year had unbelievable RPI wins. I mean, for almost the entire season, we're the fourth RPI conference in the country, and then the Big 12 jumped us there at the end. And that was the neat thing for us, is we led that league for going into week 6. And those are things we want to finish that off. But I believe our league's a multi-team bid league, and I hope that we're in a position that 4 or 5 are playing for that again this year, and we're in the top 4.
A lot of veteran guys for defense this year.
Yeah.
What does that really do for your confidence, not only just for your defense, but
Right.
your pitchers, knowing that they've got great guys backing them up?
Well, and to have good pitching, you've got to have good defense. Those go hand in hand. And to play in our field, you've got to be athletic. It's one of the biggest college, probably, baseball parks in the country. And you can't be slow of foot and non-athletic and a bad defender, because that really will expose you here. But I love our defense. That's, everyone talks about pitching and hitting. Are you really good on the mound, or are you going to hit a lot of home runs, or what? And one of the staples in our program from before I even got here was our defense. And I'm really excited about our defense this year, and I really think it's made our pitching staff better because they're pitching to contact. They're not afraid to get hit, because we have, the other day in a scrimmage, I think we had 4 guys lay out in the outfield for diving plays, and we went nuts. And we've got a brand new shortstop in here. Scott's moved over to second base. That Cody Wofford is special to watch, and I think it infuses everywhere. I'm really excited to see our defense go after it, because I think that's going to be a big part of how our pitching success is going to be.
You got a guy like Ty Downing.
Yeah.
Greenwood player.
Yeah.
How special is that for him to come back home?
It's neat to have Ty. You have another local kid here, Jackson Sal, Trevor Lowe, Josh Bartley. Obviously those 3 guys. Ben Morrison, a freshman this year, to Bowling Green High School last year. And then Ty Downing went to Indiana his freshman year and actually played quite a bit. And was one of the better freshmen in the league, and transferred and went to junior college last year. And Ty was hurt all fall, which really put him, behind the wheel a little bit, but and with his foot. But, having him and Ryan Mess, we have 4 catchers that I think are really good. Ty's an unbelievable catch and throw guy. Our pitchers love throwing to him. So depth behind the plate. When you lose a Devin Kelly, and then our number 1 catching prospect signed in the 13th round, Tanner Norton, it was nice to have Ty Downing as an addition come in here, because, your pitching staff not only is as good as your defense, but if you don't have anybody behind the plate, they lose their confidence really, really quickly. And I'm excited for Ty to contribute. I think he's going to see him catch a lot. And it's neat to have another local kid come back home and really play and really contribute.
Southern Illinois this weekend.
Yeah.
What do you really want to see out of your team this first outing?
You know what? I've told these guys, and I know you guys follow them on Twitter, and my son follows them, some of them on Instagram, and I started laughing because the personality of this bunch. Fake WWF wrestling matches, hockey matches. We had some air guitar going the other day with the they have fun. And, as competitive and as the standards that we put on our program, we want to go to Omaha. We want to win a national championship. We want to win a Sun Belt Conference championship this year. We want to do everything that everyone else says, and we believe we can get there. But you've got to have fun. That's the thing about college baseball. You've got to have fun. And that's, I think, one of the things about this team that's one of the strengths in them. They can play the game and do it the right way, but at the same time really enjoy being with each other. And that's the thing that I think is really going to help us, is this camaraderie, this unity. And I just, you're going to come out, I want you to see our guys having fun. They're going to play hard. If they don't, they're going to sit. They know that. But then outside of the weather, it's just making sure we get out and execute and do the little things, because that's the big thing in the opening weekends. You hardly know anything about your opponent. Of course, we've played these guys now the 3rd time in 3 years, so we know each other pretty good and what's coming back. We know the arms that are throwing. We have video on them. We're breaking it down. But it comes down to 2-strike hitting. It comes down to throwing strikes and playing catch early, because those are things that are going to create opportunities early for teams whose timing and everything may be off.
Get the rotation ready for this week?
Absolutely. We're going to go Jeff Wood, Chad Bishop. No, we're going to.
You don't want
Justin Hageman will throw Friday for us, and then Austin Clay will throw Saturday, and Jake Thompson will throw Sunday. In the Sunday battle, Austin and Justin really threw well in the fall, and I thought earned that opportunity. And Jake is just, I mean, and him and Austin, probably two hardest workers on that pitching staff, and has earned it. But Josh Bartley and Brandon Allen, those three were in a fight for that Sunday. And that was a neat thing. It was a tough decision, but now you put two of our better arms in the bullpen with an all-conference closer and Ian Tompkins back there, and you feel a lot better about your bullpen going in the weekend series. And you got three seniors. I mean, that's nice to have that experience starting on the mound for you. I'm excited, and we'll announce Tuesday when we get there. Whoever takes our Tuesday slot, I'd like it to be a four-starter, not just a who we got available, because if you've looked on our schedule, that assignment's pretty good in Vanderbilt and Georgia and Indiana and Louisville and Kentucky and Belmont and Austin Peay. So that person's going to have a tall order, but I'm confident we'll have the right guy in place there too.
You see anyone on the roster that's capable of having a season like Ryan did last year?
Gosh, I think everyone in the country would like to have a guy that, I mean, that was unprecedented what he did with these new bats. And I'm still a little bitter about him not getting Player of the Year. He hit 400 with 10 home runs in the league, and no one else did that. And, you know, that was just, I'm really happy with him. That was a really big-time maturity thing from him. And he deserved it, and it had a great pro ball start. But, boy, to say you're going to have someone hit close to 400 with 16 home runs, especially in our ballpark with these bats. I'd love to say Regan and Scott are going to do that, or Ryan Church or Phil Dietrich, some guys that have some juice, come in here and do that. I think Scott said it right. I think instead of one guy, I like to see it produced through the 9 guys in the lineup. That's the thing. I think our lineup is a lot deeper, 1 through 9. 7, 8, 9, who we're going to roll out there Friday. If you make a mistake, we'll hit one out off you. And they're just as good. You know, last year the toughest lineup we faced was Lafayette, and it just seemed like every inning was the same guy was at the plate. And that's really tough from a pitching standpoint, especially on a weekend. And that's what I want to see from our lineup is, well, we got 7, 8, 9. Well, they're just as good as 1, 2, 3. And but that's very difficult to put those kind of numbers on somebody. But I think we have guys capable of putting up big numbers. Yeah.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.